there, I'm Dawn, and today I'm going to be reading you a story called The Last Noo Noo by Jill Murphy. It was my children's favourite story when they were growing up. Marlon, that's Marlon, sat on the floor watching TV. Marlon's granny sat in the armchair watching Marlon. "He's getting too old for that, dummy," she said sternly to Marlon's mum. "It's a Noo Noo," said Marlon. "He calls it a Noo Noo," explained Marlon's mum. "Well, whatever he calls it," said Marlon's granny. "He looks like an idiot with that stupid thing stuck in his mouth all of the time." Gosh. "Well, he doesn't have it all of the time," soothed Marlon's mum. "Only at night or if he's a bit tired. He's a bit tired now, aren't you, pet?" Said Marlon. "His teeth will start sticking out," warned Marlon's granny. "Monsters' teeth stick out anyway," observed Marlon. "Don't answer back," said Marlon's granny. "You should just throw them all away," she continued. "At this rate, he'll be starting school with a dummy. At this rate, he'll be starting work with a dummy. You'll just have to be firm with him." "Well," said Marlon's mum, "I am thinking about it. We'll start next week, won't we, Marlon? Now, you're a big boy, we'll just get rid of all those silly Noo Noos, won't we?" "No," said Marlon. "You see," said Marlon's granny, "one word from you and he does as he likes." There was no doubt about it. Marlon was a hopeless case. Marlon's mum decided to take drastic action. She gathered up every single Noo Noo she could find and dumped them all in the dustbin 5 minutes before the rubbish truck arrived. But Marlon had made plans just in case the worst should happen. He had secret Noo Noo supplies all over the house. Well, here we are. Oh, there was a yellow one down the side of the armchair, a blue one at the back of the bread bin, various different types in his toy ambulance, and his favourite pink one was lurking in the toe of his Wellington boot. Oh dear. His mother and granny were astonished. They could not think where he kept finding them. "You'll be teased when you go out to play," warned his granny. "A great big monster like you with a baby's dummy." Marlon knew about this already. The other monsters had been teasing him for ages, but he loved his Noo Noo so much that he didn't care. The other monsters often lay in wait and jumped out on Marlon as he passed by with his Noo Noo twirling. "Who's a big baby then?" jeered Basher. "Does the little baby need his dummy then?" sneered Alligatina. "Who's his mummy's little darling?" cooed Bumps-a-Daisy. Marlon always ignored their taunts. "You're just jealous," he replied. "You all wish you'd got one too." I bet they do. Gradually, the secret supply of Noo Noos dwindled. Marlon's mum refused to buy any more, and they all began to be lost or thrown away by Marlon's mum. Finally, there was only one left, the pink one. Marlon kept it with him all the time, either in his mouth or under his pillow or in the toe of his Wellington boot, where no one thought to look. To his delight, Marlon found an extra Noo Noo that his mum had missed. It was a blue one, which had fallen down the side of his bed and been covered up by a sock. He knew his best pink Noo Noo wouldn't last forever, so he crept out and planted the blue one in the garden. Interesting. All the other monsters decided to gang up on Marlon. They collected lots of different bits of junk and fixed them all together until they made just what they wanted. It was a Noo Noo snatcher. Oh my. Then they waited behind a bush, can you see them? Until Marlon came past with his pink Noo Noo twirling. "Here he comes," said Alligatina. "Grab it," yelled Bumps-a-Daisy. "Now," said Basher. With one quick hooking movement, they caught the ring of the Noo Noo with the Noo Noo snatcher and pulled. But Marlon clenched his teeth and held on. Monsters have the most powerful jaws in the world. Did you know that? I bet you did. Once they have decided to hang on, that's it. Marlon hung on. The monsters hung on to the Noo Noo snatcher, and there they stayed, both sides pulling with all their monster might. Oh, look at that. Oh dear. And there they would be still if Marlon had not decided just at that very moment that perhaps he was too old to have a Noo Noo anymore. So he let go. And all the monsters went whizzing off down the road, across the park, and into the pond with a mighty splash. Splash. Noo Noo snatcher, Noo Noo. Marlon went home. "I've given up my Noo Noos," he said. "I sort of threw it into the pond." "Good gracious me!" exclaimed Marlon's mum, sitting down suddenly with the shock. "I told you," said Marlon's granny. "You just have to be firm." "Actually," said Marlon, "I've planted one, so I'll have a Noo Noo tree, just in case I changed my mind." "That's nice, dear," said Marlon's mum. "Nonsense," said Marlon's granny. "Dummies don't grow on trees. A Noo Noo tree. How ridiculous." Look at that. A Noo Noo tree with all different kinds of Noo Noos, all different colours, and even the birds can take them away. There. I hope that you enjoyed that story, and I hope that you will join me again when I have another story for you. For now, bye bye.